All right, guys. You're welcome again to another editions of our market outlook and setup analysis. Right. Very quickly before we start today and see what we're expecting for the coming week, right? I will implore you to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can get informations and educational materials even as I'm uploading them. And this shows that you have to click on the bell, notification bell, so that anytime I upload the educational material, you'll be able to have access to them. And at the same time, we have an Instagram page, right, and Telegram channel that you can as well join this particular channel, because we always post setup and trades that people might should take to give them a certain percentage of their account. So you will do well to join our Telegram channel and also feel among and study every material that is provided there. All right. Very quickly, this week we'll be looking at some materials that we are looking out for. The pairs that we're looking out for. For the past 2 months now, we have DXY. Right, and the reason why I always make use of DXY because the reason why I always make use of DXY is because it's a particular pair that indicates the direction of uh, dollar pairs, or also that's USD pairs. So more of the reason why I always make reference to that, though it is not always right when this pair is going higher, it doesn't mean that every other dollar pairs we follow suit. But most of the time, this is what we always expect. So that's one of the reasons why I always make reference to it. And as we can see that this pair has been ranging. I always start my analysis from the weekly, but as you can see, this pair has been really um, consolidating, and the monthly we can't really say that okay, this is where we are going to, even though this looks bullish in what I have here, right? Then the weekly has been consolidating. So that's why I always make reference to the daily. And looking at the daily, I can see that we have a range here. So this will implies that we are looking for a breakout, right? All right, in between this area, right, and this area. So whatsoever place that the market will break out first, that is where that we are going to go to the opposite direction. Okay, for example, if this market comes to this area and break this out, then we should know that we'll be selling dollar index, and that's basically what this accumulation is talking about. And I've already taught on power of three, right? ICT power of three in one of my webinars. My tutorial. You can make sure you can ensure you study them and have a clue on what I'm talking about. And if this market should break down in this low, take out the liquidities that are here, then I will be expecting it to go higher. Anyway, I'm still bullish on dollar. As you can see, I am still bullish on it. And this shows that because of this consolidation, I might not be able to speak much more on that. I predicted that, okay, this pair will go up, but I'm expecting a retracement. And this is actually what happened. The market came back to retest this other block. And as you can see, for the next 2 days, that's what Friday and Thursday, we have it going higher. So I'm still looking out for this area, probably when this area is pushed first. So we might be looking out for market going down, or when the market actually came to this place and take the liquidity, we might be going higher. Then looking at the 4 hour time frame, you can see this consolidation that we have here. It is clearly a consolidation. So we are looking for where we are, to break out. But as long as this holds, right, we will buy just like it's a great style of trading, but we will ensure that our pattern is presented before we buy and sell. That should be buying at this low, selling at this high until we have a clear breakout. Then we go to the opposite direction and trade accordingly. So this is what you'll be looking out for on this pair. And as you can see, this particular pattern is also in replication on Euro USD, right? On Euro USD, you can see the same thing. You can see this consolidation. So this shows that if you go to 4 hour time frame, you will really see the same thing, right? Look at this consolidation, and you can see when the market gets to this high, it will sell. When the market gets to the low, it will buy, and that is what we have been seeing. Probably we are going to see more downside than going up. Then we are looking at all these highs or these lows to be rated. This particular area here, right? I'll be looking at this area, right, and this area to be rated for me to know what to do next. But based on the current trend, right, even when the market is ranging, right, you can still see some fractal trend that is going on there. So this will ensure that we have what we are looking at for. So on the 4-hour time frame, we can already see that this pair is already showing a bearish move, right? Because we have this higher low broken. I will consider this as higher low. Then market went up, right, and it's forming something like this. But based on the fractal price action that I always look out for, right, I will be expecting, right, I consider this as higher high, this as higher low, right, and this as higher high, and this as lower low, because this area was broken. So when the market open, I want to see manipulation to the upside, probably finding a resistance at this other block, then I will be looking to short this pair. So that is what I will be looking out for. Provided this eye is not rated, then I will be looking to short this pair. I'll probably to this area or wait until I take out this liquidity before I look to buy again. But the overall trend that I'll be looking out for is when any of this is broken, then I can now determine on which direction to go after. And likewise on USDCHF, we can see the same pattern that we are seeing on this pair, and this shows that when we have a break of this high, right, or a break of this low, right, then we can, I mean, this particular low, then we can as well determine where this particular price action will go to. And based on the current trend on this particular pair, right, it's already broke this area, but I don't really want to consider this as a lower high. I want to see this area broken, right, before I will look at that. Even though when you check this particular area, you can really take it as a lower high. But I already have a sell set up on this pair if it will yield. But based on what EURUSD is doing, I want to see probably a little retracement to the downside before I will go higher. Then the next pair we are going to look out for is GBPUSD. GBPUSD on a weekly is a clear downtrend. On a daily is clear down, right? So on H4 also it is down, down movement, right, that we actually have on this pair, and we can see the fractal market structure is creating higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we might also expect this market to go a little bit higher, right, from a lower high, then before we look to short this pair. All right, and the next pair we'll be looking out for is EURJPY. For EURJPY, we can see that this pair also is now bullish, right? Just like what we have here. But let's look at the weekly. We can see that this pair is cleared down on the weekly time frame. On daily time frame, we already have a break in the market structure here, which shows that this pair should be bullish because this is a lower high that was broken. And with this particular area, we have an inverse pattern here, which is a shift in market structure. We have a low, right? We have a high, then market fails to break that low, then break this high. So this now remains the higher high, right? This is now the higher high. So we're expecting higher low before we continue to go higher if this pair will really go higher. And this shows that we are expecting this market to get to at least this area before we look to short, because buying at this area might be very, very expensive for us. Or the only case that we're going to look to buy this pair is if this market just reverse from here, break this high, then reverse to this particular level before we look to buy. But if this structure still holds, I will be looking out for this area that the market would trade back into this area before I'm going to be a buyer of this pair. However, on the 4-hour time frame, right, we can now see the bearish move, right? We can now see the bearish move, and this shows that this is a sign to for us to sell to buy. That shows we'll be selling this market until we get to the structure at which we are going to look to buy before we continue higher. As you can see, this is a low, this is a high, and this is higher low, and this is higher high. So we are expecting market to make a particular pattern here before we go further. So when this market open, I want to look for opportunity to sell this market until I get to this zone before I look to buy. And the next pair that we are going to look out for is CADJPY, right? And for CADJPY, if you see the weekly is clear down, and the daily, for the daily, we can see that this clear out liquidity, then break this lower high that we have here. So this shows that this pair is also bullish, and I want to buy at this particular area, right, this particular block, and we can see that it's already respecting that area. But I want to see a little bit retracement into this, down into this area, probably on the 4-hour time frame. We can see a clear one, probably into this area, right, this particular block, before I want to see to buy. And that shows that this particular pattern is for me a lower high for me. I want to see a little bit retracement, up, right, probably to find a rejection at this other block, right? As you can see, this is a high, this is like something like a fractal higher low, then lower high, we have a lower low, then it's forming a lower high. So we want to look for a pattern to sell this market up to this level before we're going to be a buyer in there. And what we are going to look out for next is on gold. All right, gold. I already said that because of this liquidity grab that we have here, market took out liquidity, right? And from there, my group, we already sold this pair uh, for us, right, in this particular area. And when markets break a high like this, right, the best zone for us to buy should be um, this area, but this area is actually not comfortable for me. Like I will be looking at the best area to be this zone. But however, if market give us a reaction here, then we might look to buy. And this shows that this particular area on the daily time frame that we're looking out for, and knowing fully well that on the weekly time frame, monthly time frame, this pair has been all-time bullish. So selling this pair is a clear counter trade. So for you to sell it, you have to be careful. All right. But for me, I consider that sell as a sell to buy. That shows that I'll be countering that particular trade until it comes to this area. Now, for me, I don't just sell a market or buy a market in a counter trend anyhow. I have an established rules that guide me in a counter trading trends. And when I see this particular rules fulfilled, then I'm going to be a buyer. No, I don't just trade impulsively, just trade anyhow without any rules. No, I have a rules that are guiding me. So that is the reason why I'm comfortable in selling in the market, which is in a counter trend. So this means that I will be looking to short this pair when it gets, I mean, to buy this pair when it gets to this area, but I will be considering that as a sell to buy. Right. If you look at this particular pattern that we have here, let me just minimize this. Now, if you look at this break this higher low, then from a lower high, from a lower low, right, breaking this structure, then forming a lower high. So I want to be a seller in this particular area until the market gets to this area. Probably I can reduce this other block to be this area. Then this might be the best zone for me to buy this pair. All things being equal, these are not absolute. These are just figures of what we'll be looking out for before we get. For us to know what we are exactly looking out for in the market. So don't take this as a signal. Don't take this as what you should trade immediately. If you want to get a setup to trade, you can join my Telegram channel where I post setup in there. So these are just market outlook and the predictions that we are expecting to see on the market. And lastly, I'll be looking at the JOES, which is USD 30 on the weekly time frame. This pair is bearish now because you can see that it has broken all-time high, then it's making its retracement, right? Probably to find a rejection at this other block, which is what we already have. Now on the daily time frame, it is now bullish, right? We can see it breaking market structure here, right? Then we're supposed to have a lower high, but it break this high. So I might consider this as a liquidity grab. So the best zone for me to buy this pair is going to be this area, right? This particular order block here will be the best zone to buy if at all is going to go higher. So this shows that I'll be employing my rules of sell to buy, right? Sell to buy is a counter trend term. So this pair, we have the high here, we have a low here, then we have a lower high here. So around this area, then fail to break this area, right? I actually failed to break this area. But if this market breaks this area, that shows that I'll be looking for opportunities to buy. But if that fails, then form a pattern to sell. I'll be looking to sell this here until I get to this area. Now, if you check the daily time frame, right, this is the order block that we have here, right, which is a strong order block. I mean, just a weak order block, but it's something that is still can still be considered, right? And if you check the daily time frame, right, this is order block inside the order block that we can look out for. This one, we can look out that this market will come to this area, or better still, this area, taking out this low here, then we can have this area as a rejection zone for us to buy this pair. So basically, that is what I'll be looking out for. And this might really be when the market open, just like what I taught you on the power of three, that when the market wants to sell for a week, right, the market will firstly go up before coming down, right? And when the market wants to buy for a week, so the market will firstly go down, right, then before going higher. So this might be what we'll be expecting on this pair and some other pairs that we've already talked about. So this is just the analysis, I mean, the outlooks of the market that we're going to expect for this week. So you can as well, just like what I said, subscribe to this YouTube channel to get more educational material. Then subscribe to our Telegram channel and to Instagram page so that you can get our chart, our flashcard, our educational materials, even as we post them. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Don't forget to share this particular material with your friend and also invite people to subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much. Stay cool.